Her sensory issues were so great that we could not get to Madeline because she was just trying to keep herself under control.
It was just, I just needed a load of feedback. I couldn't stop crashing and bumping into things.
I would think my daughter had some horrific psych disorder.
Everything can sort of overload you at any minute.
That's what it feels like to be a sensory kid.
Hello, I'm Dr. Lucy Jane Miller, founder and executive director of the Sensory Processing Disorder Foundation. The foundation began about 30 years ago, and boy have we come a long way since then. Welcome to this short video, which is going to highlight for you the 3 primary missions of the SPD Foundation: research, education, and advocacy. As always, thank you so much for your support and your generosity. We are here because people like you really care.
What's so unique about the Star Center and its relationship with the SPD Foundation is that the research is happening right next door.
Here, working with the SPD Foundation, we're able to work with children in a natural setting with their occupational therapists. We have observations that have never been made before because there's very little research on exactly what is happening on the inside of these kids during therapy. There's such a huge emphasis on helping kids learn about how to control their own states. And then we're able to actually see that and then give that feedback back to the parents, the therapists, and to research all at the same time.
The activities that we engage in just aren't happening anywhere else. The breadth of our efforts are directed towards validating the disorder, educating parents and professionals, as well as studying the effectiveness of our intervention. Our findings not only suggest that the brainwaves of children with sensory processing disorder are different from typically developing children, but also are different from other children with other childhood disorders such as autism.
It's allowing these kids to take ownership and have control over their bodies. And so doing all of this research is allowing us to really understand that so we can teach these kids to be more independent and be happier.
I'm strong. I don't give up. I'm the boss of my body. I'm the boss of my brain. Makes me really proud.
The mentorship programs really train even skilled therapists like myself, who has so much experience, in the thinking process, the identification of SPD. It is where every therapist that works with children with SPD needs to go to do state-of-the-art therapy and apply that immediately. You just can't find it anywhere else.
There's a part of your brain called the amygdala, and that's the part of your brain that tricks you and makes you scared of something.
We have many parent connection groups that are around the nation. These are hosted by parents, and they are groups to help parents support each other who have children with sensory processing disorder. The other thing that we have for families is the treatment directory, where they can go on the website and scroll for who they're looking for: OTs, OT clinics, pediatricians. There's a tremendous amount of information on our library link on the website: research, autism, education, how to handle the school systems. It would take you 3 days to even go through the whole link just to get all the information that's listed there.
It was difficult at one point. I denied that I wasn't different. I wanted to be like any normal person in society.
Lucy saved our life.
I would sit up the bench at recess.
It's just kind of hard to relate to people. So
these are the people who knew exactly what we were dealing with and exactly how to address it.
She began to crawl out of the kitchen when we were eating, and as if she was in pain. And when we would go out for dinner, or she would become aggressive, and start like hitting. And the bottom line was she couldn't stand to listen to the chewing.
She was having a lot of problems in preschool, meltdowns, swatting other children, and I was being called in every day to pick her up from school, and I just couldn't even calm her. We couldn't take her to family functions, we couldn't take her to the movies, couldn't take her to a mall. And what type of life is that for a child when you can't take them out into the world because they don't know
how to cope
with all of that sensory information?
we just had walked into the theater, and it was during a really loud part, and I was just floored immediately. I was just on the ground. I had my hands over my ears. I was just freaking out.
Everybody looks at him and thinks, oh, he must be a great basketball player. But the first time he picked up a ball, I mean, he never naturally dribbled a ball. I mean, it was a heartbreaking to watch. But he played basketball, and he got the coach's award, and he scored points.
If it weren't for the SPD Foundation, there would be no research. And it's the research I always use to explain to people that don't understand. It kind of just cuts to the chase, and people go, oh, that's awful. Now I get it. They can't calm down.
To us, it wasn't any choice. We wanted to go to get the best possible service we could get, and this is where we felt like it was.
I'm very glad that she found this place, because in Mexico it was like 30 different names for the thing that has Ricardo.
A big breakthrough for us came when we were on the way to the playground one morning, and I could tell he was disorganized, and I said, Eldon, do you feel not right in your body right now? And he said, yeah, Mama, and I want to go to the playground because I can get all the badness out there. That was so empowering for him to know that he doesn't always have to feel bad, and that he has the ability to figure out a way to feel better and do it for himself at 3.
The foundation has been active for 30 years. We're now at what people call the tipping point. We need people to make direct support donations, and we definitely need introductions to people who have the financial resources, who could support the kind of work that we need to do so that children with sensory processing disorder and their families can live the quality of life that they deserve. I hope you will consider donating to the foundation today. We need your support, and we will use it to help children with sensory processing disorder and their families everywhere.
And give whatever you can, and whether it's volunteer help, letters of support, money.
I wouldn't be anything I am today, I don't think. I honestly believe that.
I've recently heard that if your life's mission can be accomplished in your life, you're not thinking big enough. And as soon as I read that, I thought of Dr. Miller.
Those kids learn how to calm themselves down. It just changes the dynamic of the whole family.
This place is different from the other places. Different like me.